Hi, so because last week I was just watching Netflix, as you do. Not Netflix and chill, but just watching Netflix. And I noticed there was a new program that was added, and it was Asterix. There's a new cartoon of Asterix because of 5 episode series. I was just watching it because I had fond memories of Asterix as a child. I thought, oh, I'll give it a watch, see if it's good. Fantastic. I do recommend you go and watch it. I can't remember what it's fully called, but yeah, really, really good. But it got me thinking about Asterix because I used to love Asterix when I was younger. I used to back in the I think it was the late 70s, about late 70s, I think it was, or early 80s. So they had like we used to have these scholastic like mini book fairs in school. So one of them I got The Hobbits, another one I got The Black Cauldron, both books that I really love. But then for one of the later ones, they had some Asterix books, but they were only about they came to about up to here. They're just like so big, so they're only small. Um, but that's where I first read Asterix, even though it's tiny. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I always obsessed over wanted to get hold of like the big. They did like the big European album format ones, which was the size that Asterix originally came out in, and it was always out of my price range. And I just thinking, oh, it's only a 44-page book. Why would I want to pay that for that? Not realizing that all the love and craft and the cost that goes into making an album like that. Um, so after watching Netflix, I just thought I'll have a look, see if I can still get those bigger albums now to read them in the format they're originally meant to be read in. And I saw them on Amazon, so I've got the first two omnibuy, got one and two, and each one contains three different stories. So Asterix the Gaul, Asterix and the Golden Sickle, Asterix and the Goths, and in this one, Asterix the Gladiator, Asterix on the Banquet, Asterix and Cleopatra. Really high quality books, sturdy covers. The paper is really, really thick, really, really high quality. And I wanted to check if, well, I mean, if I got two, that answers your question. I've got one to start with. I want to check if I still enjoy them as an adult. And the thing I've come away from it is that these were originally books for adults, not for children. The humour in it is of a level that would go over kids' heads. The play on words with the names like Ketafix. And there's lots of other, like um, there's Obelix's cousin called Metallurgix who makes golden sickles. Things like that. So all these play on words, and there's comments on the political state of the world as it was. There's a story that involves smuggling and the things that go on with smuggling and the people behind it. Really quite a dense plot, but done in such a fleeting, speedy way. Now, Asterix originally was created in 1959. It appeared in the French magazine called Pilot, or Pilote, something like that, which had strips like Blueberry, Valerian, and other big name European titles in it. So, as I said, it wasn't viewed as a children's comic. It was in a book, in a magazine that was read by everybody. Um, and it's always been held in that esteem in France and Belgium and on the continent. It's just that over here in the UK, in America, and other places, it's become viewed because it's cartoony. Oh, it's got to be just for kids. Far from it. Far from it. And if you I mean, if you look at the artwork, this was illustrated in the very in the late 1959 through to the early 60s. The first few strips, first few books. Each book was 44 pages in length. And the quality of the art, and I don't know if you notice, right? So this was created before Spider-Man came along, before Marvel came out with Fantastic Four, which people saw as a reinvention of the comic strip. But look at this. What you'll notice, there's no big boxes of explanatory text. The dialogue is kept to a minimum. It keeps the story beat going from page to page. It doesn't describe everything for you. They don't give these long monologues describing what's happening. it treats the reader with a level of sophistication what American comics and British comics at the time did not do, because France realised, and like Japan does as well, they realised from a very early stage that comics weren't just for kids; they were for everybody. And so when you're reading this, you get drawn into the characters, and not through any long verbose setup, but because just of the story. We like the first one, Asterix the Goal, it introduces you to the whole um, the whole backstory of Asterix and the goals and the people that he lives with. So you know about the chief, you know about the bard who everybody hates. Uh, Whenever he brings out his light to start singing a song, they all make their excuses to disperse so he can't sing a song. And the in like one little small panel about that size, they explain that Obelix fell into the pots of the magic potion as a baby, so he can never have any more magic potion because he's just been saturated with it. So he's got permanently good strength, and if he has any more, that's it. You know, it could be fatal for him. Whereas if that was in an American or a British comic, that would be most of it take up 2 issues to go into the deep origin of how Obelix got his powers. But it's just done in a throwaway comment by the druid. And this is what I love about this story. It flows really well. Oh, the not just the protagonist, but the antagonists as well are fully fleshed out. The Romans, it gives you a lot of Roman history as well. It mentions things like what I didn't know, like spaghetti was surrounding this time because it came from China. It got imported into China centuries later, and so you actually get education without realizing it. But even the bad guys are funny and likable, and they have great dialogue as well. Nothing is wasted. No panel is wasted. No visual pun is wasted. So it's a true comic strip in that it's got this perfect blend of the words and the imagery without them clashing with each other. Whereas, say for example, for a modern example, a Tom King comic, you've got the words in a box, you've got the image, and then you've got the dialogue all explaining the same thing, which is unnecessary. And this doesn't do that. This has the words where they're needed in the conversations that they have with each other, and you have the actions in the panels as well. And there's panels where there's no words, but it moves on to the next one. And it blew my mind when I first watched it. I mean, the first strip, Asterix the Goal, is over 65 years old, and yet it reads so contemporary. When I compare it to something like the Fantastic Four #1, which I adore, I love the original run of Fantastic Four. This reads so much more fluid. The ideas, the story points, and everything are much more contemporary, much more relatable. It reads like it was written just yesterday. This, and it's a delight. And the artwork, it's amazing how even within the first 6 books. So the first book is beautiful, really good, but there's kind of like a roughness to the brushstrokes, and then which is Uderzo doing the artwork, Goscinny did the writing, and then within the space of the 5th book, the art is much more sophisticated. It's got a cleaner line to it. The evolution in the page layouts is a joy to behold. There's so much depth of detail. Now, I will say, as is the case with a lot of books from this period, this is the only bit that makes you remember that the books were written, especially the first 6 books, about at least 60 years ago. Is some of the ethnic characterization unfortunately reflects the racism of the time, or the subconscious racism, as like there. Um, that's that's the only thing that kind of like makes you think, oh, okay, yes, so this was a comic from that time period. But the rest of it, yeah, it could have been written yesterday. So it does interest me how these are just in the UK and in other places. These are viewed as children's books. These should be in the European book section of Forbidden Planet. Of anyway, I think OK Comics in London. I think not okay. Is it okay comic? Gosh, I think it is, or something like that. I think they did that where they had it just with like the normal European books. This should be in every comic book shop. I love this as well, how it lines up. So there's going to be an image on the spines when it's all collected. So yeah, this is definitely one that's not. It's not just kid friendly. It's family friendly. It's got there's two layers to it. There's a story what kids will love, but there's also a story that adults will love because the adults will get the fun of what a child will enjoy from it, but they'll also get the humour, which is of another level, um, and they'll appreciate the visual gags and the wordplay much more as well. It's a very very sophisticated um, storytelling and plotting to each story. And yeah, I would recommend everybody to give it a try, even if you just think, oh, I read it when I was younger. I read it when I was younger, and I've not read it for 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. And reading it with almost like fresh eyes again, I got much more from it than when I read it when I was young, because you miss chunks of what is on the page when you're little, because you just dive into you go for the meat and bones of the story. You don't look for the clever wordplay, etc. in it. And I was laughing out loud on some pages. It was very, very enjoyable. And like I said, some of the social commentary that you get from the stories as well, were like, oh, wow, okay. Um, so yeah, I would say if you're a fan of good European comics, if you're a fan of Calvin and Hobbes, if you're a fan of Peanuts, if you're just a fan of good graphic storytelling, these deserve to be on the bookshelf of any true lover of the graphic narratives. This stands up there with things like Kaya and other books, or Bone, which are what they call like family-friendly kind of stories. It's and to me, this is a much more enjoyable read. To say it's just around about the time, if not earlier, than the Silver Age superhero comics. It's much more accessible. It's much more sophisticated, and the artwork is just beautiful. So, yeah, I'm going to be getting more. So I've got Omnibus 1, Omnibus 2. I'm going to be getting some more in the next coming few. Get my rewind. I'm going to get some more in the coming weeks because I'm having a blast reading them. So, yeah, just thought we'll do this for a change. Okay, bye.